Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
This ball hit well the other way by Yainer Diaz. Backcutter Falefa, and it's gone.
Either as an opponent.
There's a drive, left center field. Yordan Alvarez sends Bader back to the wall. Let's go.
It is Friday, August 4th, and the Yankees were taking on the Astros in Game 2 of a big weekend 4-game set. Luis Severino was on the mound. Pete Simonetti is here with me tonight. We will recap the game and get your reactions. Coming up next, this is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Welcome back, everybody. This Yankees team is allergic to winning streaks, I'll tell you.
Yep.
Joining me tonight is Pete from NYY News TV. Pete, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing better than the Yankees.
Gotta get your intro there.
You didn't want to pretend it.
I'm doing better than the Yankees.
Oh, man, the Yankees are just trash right now, man. Let me tell you how bad it went tonight. This is not much of a recap. We got the old 3 solo home runs from the Yankees. But the big deal was Luis Severino came into the game with a 7.59 ERA, and it got worse. It got worse.
How?
It went
How
up.
does it get worse?
What are we going to do with Severino? I mean, you got to be considering phantom IL at this point.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, I was even thinking about it earlier. I'm like, maybe at some point you just got to throw him in a pen. And I'm like, does it even matter? Like, he's like really friggin' bad right now. Like, horribly bad, though.
Well, they said he leads the league in pitches that are middle, which is like the worst place you can throw it. Now, to the average fan, you might think, oh, great, right, throwing it right down the middle, that's a strike. But if you watch baseball, you realize that's the worst possible place you can throw it, especially if you've got a straight fastball like Luis Severino does, because that's batting practice to these guys.
Yep. Facts.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's an absolute mess right now, man. When you watch his delivery, it still feels like he's not finishing pitches. But I just feel like the Yankees, you would hope, would recognize that too and notice that there's something wrong. But it just feels like there's something off about his mechanics. I just can't pinpoint it.
Yeah, he does kind of he stands a little straight up when he doesn't follow through, like they would say. He doesn't bend his back at times. It's like he's watching the pitch.
Right.
That's interesting. Podcal says Sevy's going to be at a 10 ERA pretty soon. Once you get up in double digits, man, it's time to start looking at other professions, I think.
Yeah, it's time for the Yankees to start looking at other people that could come in and actually do a better job. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't happened yet, to be honest.
Yeah, so we did have 3 home runs tonight. Bowers, 10th of the year. IKF, 6th of the year. Yep. IKF, opposite field home run. I felt like we slipped into an alternate Spider-Verse or whatever.
Thanks. Hey, IKF's been good, man. He's definitely won the fans back. He's done a lot of good this year, and I know it kind of sucks because typically you don't want to be like, hey, who's one of the guys that's really showed up this year? Well, IKF has. And yeah, you want to talk about the bigger names, but the Yankees haven't had many great stories this year.
I was on a radio show not too long ago, and somebody said, once you lose Yankees fans, it's tough to get them back. And I actually disagree with that. I think all you got to do is play well and show that you want to play. We want to cheer for you,
Yeah, of course.
And we always wanted IKF to play well. It was just obvious from day one he was not a shortstop. I mean, that was his big problem. Bowers now, he's homered a few times this week. He's looking good. I think him at first base in a platoon with DJ LeMahieu and IKF at third base is kind of the way I would go, with McKinney in left going forward, Bader in center, and then Judge and Stanton alternating in right. I don't see any reason it should ever change from that unless somebody's got diarrhea.
Yeah, 100%. Kind of like me almost. I'm right there with you on that. I like Bowers at first base. Every time he homers, I joke around. I said, that's my first baseman. I like him a lot more at first base. And, the whole Rizzo stuff's a bit insane, but I agree with you on that. And I do believe probably around August 19th or so, we're probably going to see Everson Pereira up here. And I think he'll take over in left field. But until then, I'm right there with you. McKinney's he's one of those, he slowed down a bit. Now he's picking it back up and he's having decent at-bats. So, yeah, I like that idea of what you said. Put in IKF at third base, platooning with LeMahieu. who's also looking better in the second half. Yeah. So not looking like his MVP LeMahieu style, but he's looking much better than he was.
Stanton with home run number 17 today. The bleachers were half empty where it landed. That's 10 home runs in the last 20-something games, 21 games.
Yeah, he's definitely getting hot, at least with the homers. He's not doing much else besides that. But hey, that's kind of Stanton at this point.
That's what he's in. He's not in there to hit triples, baby. We want him in the put him
not
in
even singles. We don't care. Just
right.
Hit a homer.
I don't want him having to exert himself. Like if there was anybody on the roster ever in my entire life that got a pass at all baseball activities, it's Stanton, because I know the legs are going to snap. And so it's just like, I just want you trying to hit home runs and jog around the bases and stay available.
Yep. You don't want him stealing no bags, all right?
Yeah. So one guy who will not be taking Severino's spot is Domingo German. He is done for the season. He's been in Betty Ford more times now than Gerald Ford. Reports today that he smashed a TV, that he flipped a couch, that he tried to fight Aaron Boone, that he laughed at Ron Marinaccio, who was packing for AAA. What else do you know about the German situation?
Yeah, man, I put it out in the video. I was told about it very, very, I don't know exactly when the time was, but I put it in the tweet. I put it out in a video. What I was originally told was that Domingo German came in there completely drunk. He started talking on players. He started throwing things at players. Aaron Boone tried to calm him down, and he threw stuff at Boone. He flipped over a couch. I was told he broke 2 TVs, and I was told Luis Severino and another player are the ones who stopped him and dragged him into what they call the nap room, which is a sauna, basically, to relax, like a relaxation area, and to try to calm him down. But I don't believe after this, unless he really seeks real treatment and he shows improvement, I don't know if he's ever going to pitch again, to be honest. Because it was that bad. Usually stuff like that, fights happen. But this was somebody coming in there completely out of his mind, intoxicated, causing an absolute mess.
Yeah, and for anyone who doesn't know, for future reference, the idea of sweating out alcohol in a sauna, it's not a thing. The body metabolizes alcohol through the liver. So sweating in a sauna won't speed up the process. It'll just make you more dehydrated because you're sweating out water, but alcohol also dehydrates you. So it's just not a smart move by the Yankees or anybody who stuck him in the sauna.
Yeah.
But I generally feel bad for the guy because he's obviously got a rare talent that so many people would kill for, but he just can't harness his dark passenger.
Yep. No doubt about it. And look, it's a downfall of his career. The saddest thing about this is you're talking about a guy who just threw a perfect game. Yeah. And here's where he is now from that. I mean, a guy who throws a perfect game, has a couple of bad outings, and now he may never pitch again. I mean, it's that serious. I'll tell you what, he's not going to pitch for the Yankees. That's not happening. That's definitely not happening.
All he had to do was just, keep his nose clean, and he would have been a Yankee immortal. He'd been signing pictures with David Cohn and David Wells for the next 25 years.
Yep.
Unreal. I every year, my main big video that the algorithm loves me for is I make a list of Yankees who won't be back. And when it was announced that German was added to the restricted list and out for the season, he went right on the list. He went right on the list.
On there. Yeah, he's absolutely done, man. Just it's a terrible thing. You hope the guy could actually get help. And that's the only thing you can hope for. Look, his career is second nature. Just hope he gets help.
Frankie Baseball says 30 for 30 on Domingo German, going to be epic. And then Steve-O says Severino actually died in June, and the Yankees keep sending out his reanimated corpse. It's like a Weekend at Bernie's situation here.
Yes.
Look, I don't know if there's a situation. I don't know if there's a solution to Severino. You just got to get rid of him. I mean,
it's either that you get rid of him, or I don't know what you're going to keep running out there and hope he turns the corner. I don't see that happening with him this year. I think Sevy as a Yankee is. If the Yankees release Sevy tonight, would anybody be shocked? I know
he's on a list. He's on the list.
He got to be on the list. He should definitely be on the list. I don't see any way that the Yankees continue to let him start while they're being serious about maybe trying to get into the postseason. I don't see any way you do it.
No.
You got to move on from this guy at this point.
Give me your thoughts on the trade deadline, because we haven't actually spoke in person since the deadline. we had talked a lot about like this guy, that guy. I don't think any of us had Kenyon Middleton, who actually looked okay, and that was it. You know what I mean? Like so.
Yeah, man. For me, and that's the day I was live for 24 hours. So you were really hopeful and expecting maybe something big. And on the day of, you get to that point where it's later in the day, and you're like, all right, you got 3 hours left. Something's going to happen. You got 2 hours left. Something's going to happen. And then towards the end, I saw the deal with the relief pitcher. I'm like, they're not going to do nothing else. That is it. And yeah, it's quite the letdown, man. It's definitely quite the letdown for the Yankees. You would have hoped more that if they really were serious about going for this thing, at least you added. And if you didn't add and you weren't serious, you would have sold, and they didn't do any of those things, and then I hear things about, Hal Steinbrenner is saying, no, we're not going to sell. I'm not selling any players. I'm not trading anybody. We're going to win with this team. It's $290 million with 3 games out. I'm not going to give up. And that's where this team is right now. But it's a head scratcher because if you had a chance to get rid of guys, I think you still would have improved. And that's kind of the mindset I had the entire time. And the Yankees didn't really do anything. I mean, look, I said it when it happened. This guy Middleton could come in and be Mariano Rivera. It's not going to make a difference.
Right.
It's not going to for what this team's problem is. It's not going to make the difference.
Yeah, that's it's like they shot themselves in the foot and they put a Band-Aid on their arm. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like
I said it's like getting a major laceration and then screaming Band-Aids instead of saying we need surgery. They legitimately need surgery.
Yeah, the unfortunately, I mean, we talked about this leading up to it. I was kind of the mindset that they were going to do exactly what they did. If you recall, I said, it's gonna be some kind of a hand wave move for some relief pitcher who we haven't heard of, and that wasn't me like having inside information or anything because I don't. It was me knowing Brian Cashman and the type of GM he is that he would say, oh, look, we got this great reliever with all these great metrics and yada yada. We gave up nothing, but you didn't fix the problem. Yep. And now I look at the Rizzo situation where they waited a couple of months to get him the cognitive test that you should have had that done on day one.
Well, that's why the video I also put out today was solely about the dysfunction of the Yankees. They are a dysfunctional base right now. This team is they're completely all screwed up everywhere. The Rizzo situation makes no damn sense. I don't know how that happens. I mean, you can wrap your head around it so much. So you mean to tell me there was times when Rizzo was saying, I can't see. And they're just saying, you're batting third tomorrow. No big deal.
Yeah. Not only did he play.
It makes no sense at all.
Hit in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah. None of this stuff makes sense. This organization's in a very, very tough position. There's, like you said before, there's nobody giving orders. There's nobody directing what happens. They're all over the place. They're contradicting each other. You can look by the quotes that have been said. I was on a budget. Okay, well, you just told us earlier there is no budget. You can go over it. They say countless things that just contradict themselves, and it goes to show you that's how much turmoil is in the front office right now.
Yeah, we're not done, says Hal. Look, I think that the Yankees, what they really need, if Hal is not going to be his dad, and it's clear he's not. I mean, what are we waiting for this guy to become? I mean, he's 60 years old now. I mean, he is what he is. He could drop dead tomorrow. He's had a full lifetime. He is what he is. He enjoys flying planes. He enjoys spreadsheets. He enjoys making money. He's not a baseball fan. Now, what the Yankees really need is a general. They need to bring in somebody at the top of the hierarchy who will honestly and unobjectively, or maybe it is objectively, look at the job Cashman does and talk to Cashman and have the ability to have authority over Cashman and say, why did you make this move? Explain to me the logic in trading for Josh Donaldson. Tell me how the $25 million on Donaldson was a bargain.
One of the things I brought up, and I agree with exactly what you're saying, and I even talk about it when it comes to the GM, because people go, well, he's not like his dad, he's not a fan. He doesn't have to be a fan. He doesn't have to be his father. He doesn't have to be George. Fact of the matter is, what he has to do is put people in charge that want to win. Put people in charge that know what they're doing. Guys, look, I'll tell you right now, a lot of these people that buy teams, they're not fans of the team. They're not sitting there going, oh, yeah, I'm coming in. I'm going to win. We're going to win. It's a business move. They make money. That's what they do it for. So a lot of it is a business move, but he doesn't have to be a fan of the club. He just got to put people in charge that they're determined to win. They're determined to have the Yankee attitude of win at all costs. And they don't have to have a $290 million payroll. So that's the thing. He's spending a good amount of money. So I can understand why he might be upset and go, hey, look, we're not, why am I selling these guys off to maybe go to the Orioles or go to Arizona or do this and they maybe turn it around? Keep these guys and try to win. I can understand both sides of all of this here. But at the end of the day, you're right. The Yankees desperately need somebody in the higher up, whether it's a GM or somebody above that keeps these guys in check, of putting their foot down and going, yes to this, no to this. Just a little bit of direction is needed because it's obvious it's not there.
Right.
Too many issues throughout a year.
Yeah, way too many issues, way too many questionable personnel decisions over the last several years. Before we finish off this podcast, NYY Recaps is sponsored by Game Time, the fastest-growing ticket app in the world. For a reason, download the Game Time app to your phone or smart device, or visit gametime.co to get last-minute tickets to all your favorite types of events: baseball, other sports, concerts, theater, comedy, you name it, you can find it on Game Time. Use the code NYY Recaps for $20 off your first purchase. Game Time, the lowest price on last-minute tickets, guaranteed.
I might be using that on the 18th, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to the Yankees Sox game, so I might use that on the 18th.
Nice. I actually got tickets for the day before. It wasn't through Game Time, but I'm going to the game before your event.
Oh, I'll be there
on the 24th, the night before, the Friday.
I'll be there.
So I got some seats out there in Giancarlo Stanton territory, like way back, right along the the mezzanine in the just foul of the left field foul pole.
Facts. So, nice. Yeah, guys. So again, September 23rd, I think we got like 21 tickets left, and those will obviously sell out. But you want to come hang out with us? Come hang out with us, baby. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak to some more of my people, see if they want to go. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I haven't been in several years. I generally, when I go to games, Baltimore and Atlanta are a little bit closer these days.
Me too.
So I just kind of head those directions. But I love Yankee Stadium. I'm staying in Fort Lee, so I get to get my breakfast sandwiches, the egg and cheese. There's nothing like that in the country. Like when I was growing up in Poughkeepsie, every day before school, my dad would we would go to this little breakfast stand and we would get the paper. And we would get 2 egg and cheese sandwiches, and I'd get an orange juice, and then I'd go sit in the library while I waited for school to start, about a half an hour, and I'd read all the box scores from the night before. That's kind of like the germination of like where I became a baseball stat head.
That's true. Yep.
Alex Crean says 1 championship in 23 years, 1 World Series appearance in 20 years is a cursed situation for the Yankees. Get me a proven curse breaker, Theo Epstein for GM, Mattingly for manager. Give me your thoughts on Theo.
I like Theo. I don't think Theo would take a GM job, to be honest. He might. Just to bring up Theo, I mean, he made up a very good point one day. He said that he believes a decade for a front office guy is far too much. Anything over a decade, you've been there way too long. The game changes too much. It's a quote he said, and it makes a lot of sense. Look how long Brian Cashman's been there. Nobody could tell me that. Brian Cashman is quick-witted. He knows what he's doing. I think the game has passed him up. That's my opinion of it, is that Major League Baseball, the way organizations are kind of going about the game now, I feel they passed them up.
Yeah. And the Yankees' development, Joel Sherman had a great point. Where is the Yankees' top international talent over the last decade? You could say the Martian. He's 20 years old. That was a couple years ago. But, where is their Acuna? That type of player that over the last 10, 15 years. That's Cashman. He's got all the money in the world at his disposal. Yeah. They can, spend anything they want. Go get a Japanese player. They never dive into.
He has the best job in baseball. I mean, let's be honest. He got a great checkbook, and that's why I'm saying the game is passing him, right? Because the Dodgers do a good job of signing guys, trading guys, and developing talent. The Atlanta Braves sign guys, draft guys, and develop their talent. They do all that well. They make trades. They do all that. The Yankees, you sit out there and look, and you go, they can never get a young player to work. It's like they don't give him a chance long enough, or they don't play him at all, and then they just disappear into oblivion somewhere. So he's not. It's as clear as day. He's not the right guy for the job, and that does need a change. And look, Hal Steinbrenner got to be the guy to make the change. That's all there is to it. Nobody else can fire him. So whenever he finally decides, maybe we'll have a difference.
Tim W. says, what do you guys think about Randy Levine? I think if I say anything bad about Randy Levine's the type of guy to shut my ass down. What do you think about Randy Levine?
I love him.
He's the best. Let's hear it for Randy Levine.
That is correct.
Yeah, we love you, Randy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Pete looks like he's about to fall over. He's had a long week. I've also had a long week, and watching this team, we've all had a long season. So we're going to call it a night. Thanks to joining me, Pete. Go sign up for our event. We want you out there. We'll hang out with you and have a meal and break some bread. It'll be a super fun time. One more dono here. Yanni says, would have loved Posada as manager. He's a great leader. He would not take the laughing on the bench from the likes of Rizzo. I think you got to have fun in sports, but hey, laughing isn't the problem. It's hitting with runners in scoring position.
Facts.
All right, guys.
That's not the Yankees' problem.
We'll see you next time.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.